Hey guys, the social media producer, Tom Barnes. This is the Chicago scene, and I'd like to welcome one of my oldest friends that have been in the industry forever. It's Brian Haddad from WKQX.
Forever? What do you mean forever? Like, am I like a dinosaur? What does that mean, forever?
No, you've seen the radio landscape probably more so than other folks because, right now some stations have, people who are, I feel like they're just out of high school on the air, where when you hear a seasoned veteran like yourself, you're like, that's what radio's supposed to sound like.
Thank you. I'll give you $5 later for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
just
man.
Venmo me.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Tom.
Yeah, no problem. So real quick, why don't you, so you are at WKQX, you're on the mornings. Why don't you tell everybody what time you start and a little vibe of your show? Because it's kind of a show that's kind of harkens back to like the heyday of radio in the way that I think a lot of people would still wish radio would be. And we're lucky to actually have that kind of a radio station and show in Chicago.
Well, thank you, because that was like starting back with you back in the day. We worked together over there.
Oh, speaking of, look at this.
Oh, dang. Did you just like gank that on the way out the door and grab it?
Oh,
and,
dude, I got all sorts of things from that place, but yeah, that was a few years ago.
The funny thing I remember is the day the station went away and we lost our jobs, those billboards were done. The coolest billboards with a lot of like these beautiful women with that logo on it. And they were about to go up that day. I'd never had a billboard. I'm like, this is it. I can show my parents that this stupid career I chose actually is something. And they're going to be like, remember, they were going to be everywhere, bus boards and all the billboards off the, the Kennedy and everything. And then we go in that day and guys, we're changing format to oldies. Oh, and all those billboards are not going up.
Right. But here's the JPEG of it if you want it.
Yeah, here's the put those in your computer. Back then, JPEGs sucked too, they were like so small.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wah. So yeah, that was a really crazy, unique time. I'm so glad I got to work with you there. And, but then we moved on.
Right, but now you're like, it's full circle. Now it's another crazy time and you're back on the air, you're on in the mornings and you're at the station kind of where things launched you. And it's a different version of the station, but it is still the alternative in Chicago.
Yeah, being Sludge back then, and now I've used my real name, Brian. And that first version, like you said, back in the day, wow, what an experience being on the radio in Chicago, as you know, and people that work at your station, they've been there too. It's the best thing ever. It's people here respond to radio and the personalities. You see people, you drink beer with them, you hang out, party, you see them at shows. It's the best thing you can do is be on the radio in Chicago. And the weird circle I took to come back around and get back here to the same station, 101 WKQX, is mind blowing. I can't believe we're here. Yep, ding. Yeah.
And so you got a little plug. Yeah. Yep. And do you have a little bit of you have a crew with you? Why don't you introduce the folks? I know they're not there with you right now. You're off the air right now, but you do have a crew with you that will be part of this radiothon, right?
Yes, and we'll all be social distancing as well, too, by the way. We'll be very careful.
Yes.
But, yeah, so I have Allie and Justin, and so the show is Brian, Allie, and Justin. And we met at a lunch right in Chicago here, just through the owners and the managers, and they were like, let's see what the hell happens. We know Brian's been here before, and these guys are new. And we had a lunch, and within a couple minutes, we were, razzing each other and finishing each other's sentences, and their eyes kind of lit up and go, I think we have a show here. We're not sure, but we'll see what happens. And somehow we all came together where we came back here and we're on the air 6 to 10 in the morning, as you said, on 101.1 and ding. And, but yeah, we're on the air live 6 to 10 every morning, play a little music and we goof off and talk a lot about what's going on in Chicago, what's going on in the world, and play some games with people. And I couldn't be happier to have the crew we have with Allie and Justin, who have now been my friends for about a year and a half. But they didn't know each other at all when we walked into that lunch. We didn't know nothing.
And that's a very radio thing to happen. It really is.
Yeah.
And TV, to be honest.
Here's the people you're marrying. Basically that's what it is. It's an arranged
you're going to spend 6 hours a day in one little room with them. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah.
Try not to suck.
Yeah, do great. Great. And it did work out, and we're doing great. So it's a crazy thing. It's been a year and a half already.
All the venues are closed, and WKQX, from its inception till now, has always been a radio station that has broadcasted live from different venues throughout the city, from Lollapalooza to the Empty Bottle. Like throughout the years, they've done something where something was happening.
Yeah.
And right now, everything's closed. And you guys are doing something pretty awesome, I think, especially for the music scene in Chicago. Why don't you explain to everybody what that is?
Yeah, and if you're listening tonight, it's going to start Thursday morning at 6, or if you're watching this right now, it's happening now if it's Thursday.
Yeah.
So Thursday 6, what we're doing is, like you just said, these venues, I look at Chicago music venues like the Metro and the Vic, and you said Empty Bottle, I love that place, as kind of Chicago's music museums. You know, they're the best, some of the best times of my life were in the Metro and those places. They just, you know.
Yeah, think about the bands that you saw at the Metro that become bands that would fill the United Center.
It's amazing. Metallica just posted a video of them playing the Metro in 1983. We have it on our social media, and they're like 20 years old. What's that?
What's the social media, by the way?
Oh, just 101 WKQX on our Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, 101 WKQX.
There you go. All right. Yep.
And so you can see that there, but also the links to this radiothon we're doing. So you think about the venues and bands like that got their start. Now they play Soldier Field. So all the tours have been canceled. All the venues have been closed for months. Everybody knows that it's kind of almost a droning thing now where everything's closed and canceled. And I get it. It gets rough. But we're in danger of losing these music venues. And just like the restaurant owners are going through. And so we thought, we're about music, we're about passion, the fans, the listeners of music. So we're going to stay on the air for 34 hours, 1 hour for each independent music venue in Chicago. It's an organization called Civil, which is the Chicago Independent Venue League. The owners created this. So the money that we get raised will go to these venues to help them keep their doors open when everything comes back after this whole thing is over.
Wow, that's awesome. I think that's just as important. I feel like it hasn't been talked about as much as the restaurants, and rightfully so. I mean, the restaurants are what they are, but I mean, when you go out to eat and then you go see a show, I mean, a lot of us have done that. So we need to go be able to still see shows, especially at the smaller venues like the Metro, Empty Bottle, Lincoln Hall, or, you know, or just the Green Mill. You know what I mean? Like all these places. It's important. It's part of what makes Chicago so unique, I think.
I think like a lot of your viewers, like they know that, like the first thing you do when you get out of college, whatever, if you move down to Lincoln Park and you start going to shows, or you move into Bucktown or Wicker Park or whatever, and you just start going to shows in your neighborhood at your place. And it's part of the culture, and we just can't lose any of this stuff. We feel that way. And I know our listeners do, and your viewers as well. So we're going to stay on the air for 34 hours. It's going to get stupid. I think we're going to be like, I don't know. It's going to be a mess. We got a lot of special guests calling in, a lot of Chicago bands, a lot of celebrities will be calling in and sharing stories. And we want people to call up and share their stories about, I'm sure you have some stories about some of the venues, Tom. Something that happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Aragon Ballroom, when we were, I think it might have been right before you came to the station formerly known as The Zone, but the Aragon Ballroom, the first time Audio Slave came to Chicago as Audio Slave. So Chris Cornell and the guys from Rage Against the Machine at the Aragon Ballroom. I will never forget that concert. That was outstanding. And it was the first time people heard Chris Cornell's voice in a long time, because Soundgarden was gone for a while. They weren't doing anything. And then this band just came out with their hair on fire. Not literally, but I mean, figuratively, it just blew the doors off the place, you know? So, I mean, from that to, remember the old Congress Theater? I know that one's not open, but they're renovating it. But the old Congress Theater, I mean, I saw the Offspring there back in the day, where, if you want to talk about a mosh pit, the entire floor mosh pit for the Offspring back in, this might have been in like the late 90s or early 2000s, but either way is a hell of a time. And that's your youth when you grow up in Chicago. So it's important.
Yeah. I mean, just asking you that, you had three incredible memories right there that you might not go out to a show anymore as much, but it's Chicago to experience those things. That's what makes this the best city in the world. And we can't start losing those things. And
no,
everybody's trying to do a part. And listen, we're trying to help the best we can. And this is just our way to help Brian, Ellie, and Justin, to help, to help. And we need listeners to help and donate. Listen, I get that it's the hardest time in the world to ask people to donate something. We're not, not self-aware on that. But I look at it like this. There's been no shows for a couple months. There's not going to be any for a couple months at least. Take one of those little payment you put aside that you would have used for a concert and donate that to help these venues, because eventually it helps jobs and Chicagoans that work at those venues. So that's probably the biggest way you can look at it to help. And again, I know people are struggling, but a little bit goes a long way. And if you have a rich uncle, call them and tell them to donate. That'd be good.
Yeah, it's civchicago.com, right?
Civil, CIVL. But
oh, I'm sorry, civil.
That's okay, but all the links will be at 101WKQX.com. You can just go to our social, like you posted, and our website to get all that link information. It'll be easier that way, probably.
Can you leak any of the special guests that might be calling in, or is that all secret?
I mean, a lot of our bands, a lot of our music, like Local H is an icon in Chicago. They'll be calling up, trying to get, some of the Pumpkins. It'll be a lot on the kind of last minute of, we have a lot organized, and then people are already starting to call, hey, what are you guys doing, this 34-hour deal? I'll call in and do that. So, I heard Barack Obama might call in. I've heard that, Oprah. Yeah. They're part of the list.
They're VIPs.
Yeah, they're on there. So it's just going to be a fun party. It's not going to be a telethon saying donate, donate, donate. We're going to party for 34 hours. And hopefully you enjoy what's going to happen.
And is there anything special about the music you guys are playing during this time? Is it the normal stuff, or are you guys digging out stuff that's kind of harkens to some of the eras of the music coming out of those venues?
We'll absolutely be playing some live performances from some of these venues you've never heard before, or maybe you've heard them and it's been a long time. And hey, we can be bribed with donations. If you want to hear something we would normally never play, give it a shot. There's anything's negotiable during this 34-hour radiothon. Everything's negotiable.
And you guys love pizza at the very least, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm looking in Pequod's direction.
Ding. All right. So this thing starts either tomorrow, depending on when you're watching it, or today. It has started at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you guys are going until 4 o'clock Friday, right?
Yeah. 1 hour for each of the 34 independent music venues in Chicago. 34 hours, 6 a.m. Thursday to 4 p.m. Friday. Listen, I got to be honest. I don't know how 4 p.m. Friday we're going to make it. We'll see. A lot of Red Bull's going to be in here. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, it'll be fun to listen to, and maybe we can catch you guys on a live stream too.
Please do. We'll be doing a lot of video too on all our socials. So thank you for helping promote this, Tom.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I always do anything for some good radio coverage.
Thank you, and God bless the baby.
Oh, Lord, what happened?
Oh, geez, I hit my phone. My bad. See, Zooms, this is crazy. I got the wire.
You're getting excited.
Here. I'm going old school with the wire. The wire.
Hey, it's fine. That's all right.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, and I'll listen to you guys on the radio.
I don't know what happened. What a stupid ending. What a stupid way to end. Oh, my God.
No, actually, that's kind of perfect. Don't worry about it. That's good.
That's awesome. That is awesome.